Recording is on.
It is the 23rd of January, 2022. This is WIKISPEED Standup. Lauren, you want to start us off?
Sure. Okay, it's Lauren Salter, Gabriel Island, British Columbia, Canada. And this week, I read over an email from Michael, a kind of a draft of the updated LRW details. And so I did read that over and just responding overall to Michael. And side of that, not much. Coming week, I don't expect I'll do much more than monitor things because I have a giant block, which is my back pain came back. So I'm working through that. Came back Tuesday, and I'm working through that. So that's kind of where that all that's at. And okay, yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Sorry to hear about your back. Neil, are you ready?
Sure. So this week, again, as I mentioned last week, I'm really focusing on getting through the book entirely. I've read it, but actually to edit it. And I will focus more on the Little Red Wagon directly after that. But even so, indirectly, this week was a very, very heavy Linux use week for me, and reviewing a lot of concepts that are all overlapping with what we're doing in the Little Red Wagon. So I at least feel I'm making side progress, not direct progress in the project. I just posted the project there, by the way, for Wesley to see the link to it. So that's my summary for this week. The blocks are the same, but I'm following the same trajectory I've been speaking about and anticipating the time when I'll be able to accelerate my work on this part of the project of WIKISPEED.
Okay. Thanks, Neil. It's Michael Wolchuk, Saskatoon, Canada. For the past week, I posted stand-up for last week. Got the video posted. And I did an edit to the. I guess I posted the description of the robot operating system, or ROS, review, and got some feedback from Lauren. I made some more changes to it, but I didn't get it posted yet. I was hoping to get some video taken, and I made some progress there. I actually got some software loaded on Linux to take the screen capture, which seems OBS, or OB Studio, seems to be pretty generally acknowledged as decent to use, but not super fantastic, and it's open source, so that kind of fits with what we do. Next week, I'm looking to continue on capturing video, doing installation, so you can follow along with installing ROS on a Raspberry Pi for a remote control vehicle, and basically get the hardware set up to do what we're wanting to do, or get the hardware to the point where we can start writing some software. Blocks, my back is getting better, but it's not in good shape yet. I'm still time boxing, which is supposed to be a method for getting things done in little blocks. My boxes are up from 20 minutes to 45 minutes. I can actually sit in a chair for 45 minutes now. And that is about it for me for the week. Lauren, you want to take us into the next stage?
Yeah, so retro, I'll give myself a 5. And the team 9, again, we continue to have new people. And I don't have any process improvement. I think things are moving along. So that's it for me.
Okay, sounds good. William, you ready?
And I think for the book, I'll give myself a 5. Again, the robot operating system, I'm giving myself a 2 every week, and that's where it is right now. But maybe I'll give myself a passing grade someday. But the team is definitely a 9 because we keep on going and we're getting somewhere. So that's great. Thank you. process improvement. Let's just keep on working at it. I think we will improve as we go, as we practice.
Okay, sounds good. Wes, do you want to take a try at stand-up? There you
Yeah,
go.
I, as I understood, I think as I read through it, report, I am a total rookie learning about your system, and enjoying it. So there's a positive out of that. I feel like I can commit next week to learning how Miro board, I believe it's called, works, so I can get familiar with that, and then I'll try to make at least 2 contributions, either approving some things or making some more editing suggestions. And yeah, I think that's a good start.
I agree. That is a good start. I am going to give myself 7 out of 10 for the week. I got a little over half of the stuff done that I wanted to get done. I will go with a 9 for the team. I agree with Lauren. We are making progress. We're showing up every week, and we're getting the recordings done again, which is good. And process improvement. The only thing I'm going to suggest is that when we get a couple more people from the editing staff or editing group in, just decide whether or not everybody's happy or okay with recording. And if they're okay, good. If they're not okay, that's fine as well. I haven't asked in a while. So that pretty much wraps us up for stand up, unless.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
your voice dropped.
Anyway, yeah, I'm just ready for crosstalk. So I have a little crosstalk. Actually, question for Wesley, or a
Right.
comment to Wesley. Yeah, so let's see. I'm thinking the mediator is a good background for a Scrum Master, I think, because there's not many jobs that, managers. It's almost the opposite of a manager, but a mediator is more like it. And yeah, we when in the 80s, when I worked in Saskatchewan, where Michael is, we had a famous mediator a Canadian. His name was Alan Gold. He'd done a lot of well-known labor mediations, and it was really so interesting what he said. The one of the things I remember was it was if in a meeting somebody started yelling or really losing it, he had a thing where it's his turn. He said the idea was you couldn't have 2 people doing it, but if someone hadn't done it for a while, then it was their turn, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, as a mediator, I keep thinking about how the skills I bring could be really useful in Scrum practice. Only because there's ways you want to be able to quickly work with language or maybe a misunderstanding or something and kind of work it forward. I even thinking like I would love to work at some place like Tesla or something like that. And I think, how would my skills actually work when most of it feels like it's always production, manufacturing, engineering. And I feel like I have good ideas, but I don't know if I could really participate in a full way there. But I'm interested to see how my skills can actually enhance the process. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cross-disciplinary, so maybe there's ways for it to work because they have these teams of very wide skill bases.
It is my understanding that all you have to do is ask. What Elon has been quoted several times as his biggest fear is that something in HR, some rule excludes someone who could contribute, and he wants to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to become part of a team and try it. So I would be surprised if you showed up on the doorstep and they didn't interview you.
Well, I actually even thought about applying to their HR. I don't remember if they have the specific HR, but I know they have the department
Yeah, they
of
do.
people management or something like that. And I was like, I still feel like every process they're working, if they're using like an agile approach, we could make that even more streamlined and really enhance the environment again for the employees. I mean, it's exciting to be involved in the process. To me personally, it's exciting. Yeah.
So most interesting, the prospects that there's so much changing in the world of work, and it's being led a lot by these companies. And somehow Joe from WIKISPEED was at a real special time of history. He seems to have caught the wave of change in the way that we do things. I don't know if that's right or not, but I just get an impression that
Yeah,
he's some kind of. That's why he moved to Hawaii, I guess. But
the hardware, the application to hardware. So I was working in IT, and I knew about Agile, but not Scrum while I was working in IT. So I was working at Blue Cross of California for a while, uh, up in Bay Area, and so I got a book called Rapid Development, which talked about Agile a long time ago, and one thing so but Joe was a big part of the Scrum in hardware, the application of it in hardware, and in connection with that, I found out that there's a lot of work expanding it beyond software and hardware tech to service delivery, to say operations like in a hospital, things like that. The kind of the core of it to me, it certainly was in software, is you got these fairly smart people who have a particular technical skill, and so you tap their a bit of their time that they would be doing. You take it away to self-organize, and a lot of them like that. Certainly, I found project managers were unpopular in software, and so it's a self-organizing team of about 5, and you use the organizing skills of the team itself and the ability to just grab a project or grab a task and do it. And so that's been applied beyond, I think they call it beyond something.
I was wondering, Wesley, as a mediator, do you work with government, corporations, between companies, between government and companies? Like, what is your role, your niche, and how does that work as a mediator?
Probably 70% of my work before was in divorce.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's at the individual level rather than, because mediator can suggest a lot of things. It could be a
lot of places
between a union and a company, or so that's interesting.
Well, and then what I transitioned into working with students to help them do either peer mediation or what's called restorative justice in schools. This is where you're kind of managing conflict in different ways. That's really what it comes down to.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And it was very rewarding. It always was for a nonprofit. And as you probably know, nonprofits don't iterate quickly.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of egos.
Yeah.
And so eventually I knew that wasn't the long-term place. I'm finishing up a master's in negotiation and conflict resolution right now.
Wow.
So in fact, it's almost done.
I think you're at the right time in history. There's certainly a lot of conflict.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel like you said, cross-purpose is super valuable.
Yeah.
I was just listening to that part of the audiobook last night, where he's saying people have all these different personality traits and abilities, and yet in the old system in Waterfall and all these very managerial, top-down, authoritative versions, they're always going to have to limit themselves. They won't show all their abilities because they're told just do your thing or don't show the other parts of you. And I was like, wow, that's not only so true, but it's painful to watch. Yeah.
I just got a text from the president of my company, and I'm going to have to address it.
Okay.
We usually end it around this time anyway, but I'm really happy
Yep.
to join us, Wesley, and to see you, Lauren and Michaels. Oh, sorry. I keep on thinking Lauren Michaels. Lauren and Michael, and hope to see everyone very soon.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to include a note to myself. I'm going to check the video to make sure that the chat shows up where you put the links to the Little Red Wagon project.
Okay.
So hopefully I will remind myself to check that before it gets posted.
Well,
So-
it was a pleasure meeting all of you. I look forward to more work, learning more about the actual manufacturing part that you guys are doing, because I don't know anything about that. I was just coming towards the editing. So it's all good. It's all learning.
Excellent. Well, look forward to
Great.
that. And have a great evening.
Great. Nice meeting you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I'm going to hit stop.